Following or not? Followed? For the same thing, just try with this one. For the same grammar, try with this one. 2 plus 4 into 3. And maybe just a bit confusing for you. Don't consider that one. Start working with only this one for that particular grammar. Write annotated tree and further evaluate the given expression 2 plus 4 into 3. Which one has got highest priority? What is the answer? What is the answer? 4 3 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14. That you need to get. And same way, define the semantic actions, pass tree, and then evaluate from top to bottom, left to right order. Thereby, you'll be getting the proper answer. Try. If not, I'll be solving in the next class. Is it clear? Followed?
Yes. Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss the chapter Ethical Theories. So in this we'll cover today we'll cover the uses of ethical theory, then the criteria for evaluation of ethical theories, and finally some approaches ethical approaches or theories. Okay. Uh, Let us see first what are the uses of this ethical theories, or ethical theories, or we can say that the theories about the right action. Okay, so what are the different theories are involved, or we need to study uh, to make a right action in the profession. Like some uses of ethical theory, like is the understanding the moral dilemma. It helps us to understand the moral dilemma. These theories provide the clarity, the consistency, and you can say the some systematic and comprehensive understanding about about the situation or about the issue. Second use is it provides some practical guidance towards the solutions of any such issues, and justify the obligations and decision. It helps us to justify those any obligations are there, or give you some justifications to the particular situation or particular issue in the profession. And also, usually these theories relates to the ordinary, or you can say the professional morality. It gives the professional morality also. Let us in this uses, let us deal some more information about the moral dilemma. Can you tell me what do you mean by dilemma here? Yes, anyone? What is more? First tell me what is dilemma. Yes, yourself. Aishwarya, what is dilemma? Yes. Yes. Yes, you are nearer to the answer. From this side, anybody? Yes. You, Pawan. What is dilemma? Can you add some more points to her? What they told? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Both are nearer to the answer. Let me tell you what is dilemma first. Okay. Dilemma is a situation where a person is forced to choose between two or more conflicting options. Okay, it is the conflicting options, neither of which is acceptable. So it's a dilemma means what? Yes, it is a situation. The arises some situation where person has to take some the decision, right? But there are some available options are there, alternative you can say that, but those are like something like a conflicting options. So it's difficult to accept uh, any of the options because it gives some results. Okay. Let us take for example, so consider there is a mayor, like a town mayor. He may faces the dilemma like how to protect and preserve the virgin forest, and at the same time allow the miners and the loggers for the economic development in the town. Okay, so he's facing right. He's in a dilemma. He's in a situation what to do, whether to protect the forest or allow the development of the town by giving permission to the loggers or the miners, right? So then, what is the moral dilemma? Okay, so you can say that when this has some human action which have to be called as a moral dilemma or the ethical dilemma. Moral or the ethical dilemma. Which are the human actions, human actions which leads to a moral implications. Okay, so those we call the moral dilemma. Okay. In these moral dilemmas, there are different kinds of moral dilemmas are there, or ethical dilemmas are classified, right? The first one is epistemic moral dilemma. Okay, and the second one is self-imposed moral dilemma. Okay, and the third one is obligation moral dilemma. Okay, so there is one more, we need not have to worry about that. Well, can anyone tell me what is the epistemic moral dilemma? Anybody knows? Anywhere you have heard this word? Yes? So epistemic, we define, or we say that it is the dilemma, right, or the situation which confuses which option is morally right or wrong. Morally right or wrong. Epistemic means what? There is the action, or there are some alternatives, but those alternatives, right, options are confuses, right? Which one has to be taken, which is morally right or which is morally wrong, so that it is going to give the some output. Can you give an example for this? Yes. Yes, Girish. Can you give example? Let's take a simple example. Suppose in a house, the parent promises his son that he will reach home early, right? Uh, but when he is coming from the office, in the way, he found that there is a one old age person, right, who is suffering from some health problem. He need immediate hospitalization. There is two situations is occurring, right? He has promised his son that he will be coming home early, and also he saw the old man is suffering from some health problem, so he has to be hospitalized immediately. So the question arises here: where does the parent actually utilize? What happens? There are whether he chooses the first action, right, or he chooses the second action, right? That is, whether he goes to the home early, there are some its own we can say the results, and if you choose the second option, it has its own the actions, right, or the results. So this is called the epistemic dilemma. The second one is self-imposed moral dilemma. Self-imposed. The name itself indicates here, right? This sort of dilemma arises because of the actions of the persons who does the actions, or you can say the wrong actions done by the persons. Okay, so those such actions or the situations we call the self-imposed the moral dilemmas. That is, you can say these sort of dilemmas are caused by the wrong doings. Can you give an example? Wrongdoings for this, how it is going to affect the society, or whatever the situation is there if you do some wrongdoings. Yes? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Can you give any other example? Let us say self-imposed. Suppose we take an example of the politicians. Okay, the politicians, they make some promise to the some category of people to just to gain the votes. Okay, but when they win the whatever the political race, after that they will have the uh, they come into the or they faces the problem, right, of whether to fulfill the promise which he has done before the elections to the people, or he is not supposed to do that, right? So this is like a kind of a self-imposed the a problem or the dilemma by the particular person. Okay. If you take another example, like nowadays the discussion is going on, right, where the corona is spreading in the Karnataka because of the migrants they arrived from the Bombay, right? See, this is the government has taken the decision to allow the persons or the migrants or the people from the Bombay to their places in the Karnataka, right? So this is no what they have taken the precautions measures or that is secondary part. But now when the cases are uh, increasing right in the different places of Karnataka, it is what the government itself. We can say that some the discussions in the you can see if you see the news channels. So the news channels uh, they're telling that it's a sometimes it's a decision or taken by the government, right? This is like their government, or if they don't allow the migrants or the people who are in the Bombay to the Karnataka or to their places, then again they will be blamed of. Now also they are in the blame. In a sense, what here uh, the government of Karnataka in this issue also they are in the dilemma or self-imposed the dilemma or self-imposed the situation they are facing now, right? How to control again these things. Okay, so that is there are different things comes into mind, but how morally you are going to solve that is the situation or this the thing which is there in our in front of us, right? How we are going to solve those situations or the dilemmas. And the third is called the obligation dilemmas. Okay. So these are some of the uses of the ethical theories. Whatever the theories we are going to follow, those uses we are going to get it. Now we'll see the criteria for evaluating these ethical theories. Okay. So different the criteria may be applied to evaluate these ethical theories, uh, and needs to decide which one is the best. Okay, which theory you are applying, which alternative solution you are going to apply for the particular the dilemma or the situation is depends on the different criterias. The first criteria is theory must be clear. Theory must be clear, and that theory should be formulated with the different the concepts, so that you can say when you read the theory, right, or the situation, so it is connected logically, that it is connected. So maybe the what are its outcomes. Okay, whenever you take some situation, when you want to describe that, right, what are it's going to be the results, good or the bad results. So those things are logically everything should be explained in the theory. Second is criteria is uh, it must be internally consistent. It must be consistent. Internally consistent. So in a sense, what there should not be any conflicts within the theory, within the components of the theory, whatever you are going to describe. So internally it should be very much clear, the concepts must be very much clear, all the components what you are defining, those should be very much clear. So third point, criteria is whatever theory you are presenting, right, that must be depend, right, only upon the facts. That must be, the theory must be depend upon the facts. So there should not be any random things should be told, or without any facts you are not supposed to depend a particular theory. Whenever anybody is asked, right, so it has to be defined, it has to be dependent on the facts. And the next, the criteria is organize the values in a systematic and comprehensive manner. Then in a sense, what we should see, what are the priorities of the values, and if required provide guidance to all the situations which are arising in that problem or in that dilemma. Then it should provide a proper guidance so that one can make the proper judgments, right, and so to take the solutions. Okay, so those are the some of the criteria. These are some of the criteria must be followed, okay, whenever you are in a dilemma or in a profession, right. To solve those ethically, we need to solve, right, or morally we need to solve by considering the all those suitable criteria for the particular situation. Can you give an example of this? Any one theory, ethical theory, where it is adequate or inadequate? Well, suppose let us say in to make it concern of the public. What do you say is that explosive device without the consent to the public. Right. So we say here that it is not the adequate theory, it is an inadequate theory. So we need to, so the theory behind whatever the theory you are submitting, right? So try to see that all these criteria, right, meets in this theory, in that theory, right? Whatever you are presenting, whatever the theory you are making, or the problem you are doing, so that it can be accepted. It can, someone say that it's adequate, the problem or dilemma, it's a situation. Yes, it can be. We can solve this, or we can go ahead with the proper solutions. Okay. In that way, we need to think. Okay, and we need to solve the problems. Okay. Now let us see. There are some ethical theories or the approaches. Okay. The first one in this is utilitarian theory. Utilitarian theory. Okay. So this theory, let's see some brief about this theory and how this can be used. Okay. So this theory was 19th century by Bentham, Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. This is conceived in the 19th century by John and the Stuart Mill. So this is basically, this theory was proposed, conceived only for the help of the legislators, right, to say or to determine which laws were morally best. Yeah, to help them legislators, this theory was been proposed. So, how to analyze the issues? Okay, using this approach, utilitarian theory. So these people suggested some points, or you can say the steps to analyze any particular issue. So first thing to analyze any issues in this approach is identify the various courses of action available. First thing is identify the available actions. Identify the available actions. First step. Then second one is ask who will be affected by each action. Then we ask who will be affected by. Okay. Then third is choose the action which is choose the action, right, which will produce the greatest benefits and the less that should be taken. So first one is what? Identify the available actions. Okay, when you are in a dilemma or legislator, when there are many the laws are available, okay, for the legislators for a particular situation, he has to select. He has to first identify what are the different the actions are available. What are the different the alternative solutions are available for that. Okay, actions are there. Okay, one he has to identify those for the particular situation. Then he has to ask himself, right, for each action, right, who is going to affect, or you can say what are the benefits of each action, and or what are the harms of each action, right, which is can be applied. So all those has to be pointed out. Whichever, suppose consider that three actions are available for a particular situation, so one has to make for all the three options. Okay, one has to make the benefits of each action and its harms. Second option, benefits and harms. Third option, benefits and harms. Right. So once you do this, okay, once the have all these things, then choose the better action, better alternative, right, which is going to the higher benefits and the less harm to the concerns. So in the sense part here, we say that the moral action, or why we go for the moral action or the is that it should provide the greatest benefit, or you can say the greatest good for the greatest number. Okay. So this is the utilitarian theory. Okay. Uh, so this again, there was little changes to this utilitarian theory in the 1910 and 1907 by the Richard Brandt. Okay, he stressed the rules. Okay, uh, such as do not steal, do no harm others, do not bribe as of primary importance. Okay, he made some changes. Okay, put a rules to this utilitarian theory. Okay. That is, do not steal, and do not harm others, and do not bribe. Okay. And also he suggested that individual actions are right when they are guided by a set of rules. Okay, when they are guided by a set of rules which maximizes, you can say, the public good, which helps to the public. So, so in this one, whenever in the profession, okay, whenever we want to do some act, so we need to take care that those actions should be guided by the proper rules. Okay, when you are in the office, right, or any company or any sort of profession, there are some set of rules will be there. Okay, you try to follow those rules, read those rules properly, and try to see that for the particular situation, particular any, you can say, dilemma, or that you try to apply the ethical things or moral, try to solve that morally, so that you can maximize, you can give the more benefit uh, to the public or to the concerned people. Okay. Now see the second theory, that is the duty ethics. Can anybody tell us now? Can anyone your views on duty ethics? Yes. Yes, yourself. Yes, good. You can add some more points to that. Can anybody here decide? Can you add some more points? Please. Uh, so this duty ethics theory is usually proposed by Immanuel Kant. This is proposed by Kant in the year 1724 to 1804. 1724 to 1804. Okay. So this he proposed that the actions, whatever actions we are doing, actions, those are the consequences of performance of the one's duties. You can say that. Okay, whatever the actions are going to be, or results are there. Okay, they are like the performance of the particular the duty of a person. Okay. So in a sense, he suggested that in the duties, right, one has to have some of the ethics, right, while doing the duty, like being honest, not cause suffering of others. Okay, what he says, He says being honest, not cause suffering of others, suffering of others, being fair to others, okay, and being grateful, keeping the promises, okay, keeping the promises, being grateful, so etc. At least some of the duties, these points or ethics should be included when we do the duty, so that the whatever the actions or results we are going to face, they depends on some of these ethics. So and also he says that the stress is usually on the universal principle of respect for autonomy. Okay, respect for the autonomy, that is respect and rationality of a person's always, right? Whenever it is possible, wherever, right? We try to respect the autonomy of a person's, that is his skill, it might be his self-respect, and also the rationality of particular persons, different way the persons, right, in the organization they have different types of rationalism, rationality or thinking capacity, can say that, reasoning capacity sometimes, right? So it is our duty, it's one ethics of our duty, where it is possible we should respect their skill and the rationality. Okay, it says if you take an example, why you may ask why you need to be honest in doing the duty or performing the duty. Uh, Honest is like a one thing which is required by almost all the duties. Okay, because if the businessman is honest, if he is honest, then definitely he is going to have more profits from the customers, and also avoid the prosecutions of dishonesty. In the long run, definitely, sometimes we feel, right, being honest, sometimes we may get the adverse effect, but in the long run, it is going to help the in whatever duty we are doing. Definitely, we are going to get the good results in the long run also. So, it is better try to have some of the qualities, some of the ethics, right, when you are performing the duty. That's the one thing. Duty ethics is also performed. Okay, in other side we say it is on the agreement based, and that is proposed by John. Duty ethics by the agreement base. Agreement based, which is proposed by John Rowell. John Rowell. So what he did here in this theory, duty ethics theory, he gave the more importance to the actions. Those are voluntarily agreed by all the persons, okay, which are involved in those duties. Then assuming impartiality, okay, there is no partiality, and whatever you are doing, all this will be agreed by all the the concerned people. So this Raoul has proposed two basic principles here. The first one is each person is entitled to adequate liberty compatible with an equal amount for others. Each person is entitled to adequate the liberty, right? Adequately, each person has to adequate the liberty with equal amount of for others. Okay, and the second moral principle is the difference in social power and the what you can say the economic benefits should be justified only when they are likely to benefit everyone. Differences in the social power. Okay. Differences in the social power, okay, and benefits should be benefits should be justified only when they are going to benefit everyone. Okay. So if you consider these the proposed thing for the proposal, right, or proposed actions, if you apply these for some business scenario, if you take, for example, the free enterpriser is permissible so far it provides the capital needed to invest and prosper, thereby making the job opportunities to the public, and taxes to fund the government spending on the welfare schemes on the poor people. Okay. So in a sense, free enterprise is permissible to provide the capital, that is investment, for the purpose of investment and prosper also, and also paying the taxes to the government. Okay, the government can make a use of those money for the welfare of the poor people. Okay. Okay, we'll stop here, and in the next class we'll continue. Thank you.